Hello everyone, Ryan Maloney here for Dorks Like Us. Now today we're going to be delving into the topic of virtual reality. Too bad you don't have a virtual reality headset in order to delve into it, or even if you had one, could you delve into just audio? Well, I promise that it will be an immersive monologue by me about virtual reality. Well, I have a different take on what everybody has virtual reality being. The standards set by modern society would actually kind of lead you to believe that this virtual reality is that they're trying to sell us. GameStop of its VR updates is kind of disappointing. From as far back as you can think, Tron pioneered the fact that people could be inside of a video game. What virtual reality would be like. Heck, Sword Art Online right now tells us what would it be like to actually be in a virtual reality game. And what we're seeing with this is nothing like that. And to the point that I'm actually kind of mad that they're trying to present these accessories as virtual reality. Technically, what people are doing is just shoving a phone screen in your face. Like you don't have enough of that already. You're good. I don't know how anybody will be able to feel like they're actually there. If you were to put screens on top of you, behind you, and beside on both sides of you while you're playing a television or you're playing on your PC, that will basically be mimicking the same thing these virtual reality headsets are doing. I'm going to call I'm not going to call them virtual reality. I'm going to call them visor accessories. Basically, people are trying to emulate what Nintendo did in the 80s. It's like, oh, dude, how can you say that? How, that's so stupid. Well, so you have a set of goggles that attach to your head, and there is a screen right in front of your face. Uh, that's pretty big similarities. Well, obviously the graphics are going to be a lot better, and that the people are trying to implement motion controls with the VR, and it's going to be interesting, especially for the same people who said how much they hated motion controls and now all of a sudden are starting to love VR. This makes no sense to me. Now, its initial sales have been great because people are looking for the next big thing. You know, it's basically a novelty item and that's where it'll be. It's going to be a novelty item. I believe it's not going to catch on for a couple of big reasons. Number one, competitive gamers. People who are competitive want to have the best chance to win, and virtual reality will not give them the chance to win. It's because you are so used to what you do and how they do it, yet going away from it doesn't make any sense for people who are competitive. They're going to try to stay in their same rut. They're going to try the way they know how to be competitive, and the likelihood of somebody being competitive in online gaming with virtual reality headsets is not as likely because people have grown up with a certain style of controller, and now you're asking people to master something in a short period of time, which people have had over a couple of decades to master. So competitive gamers will not likely use it. Number two, casual gamers won't use it for their local multiplayer. The whole point of local multiplayer is to have an immersive experience with friends. That you're all looking on the same screen, that you're all in the same room, and that you can react to what happens, and diverting yourself from a couple different screens when you're playing together will be kind of different. I guess it would be like a handheld in some capacity, but it's not like you're going to be battling each other. Like, I don't. This is. It's not the optimum party experience. It's not the that people expect from when you're all looking at one screen, or you're looking down at your own old devices and you're able to see people's reactions. So it won't be taken as well. And number three goes with goes with people's inability to change. Over over the last couple years, I've seen people start to build the cult to the classic controller. Thou shalt have four buttons on its right side, two trigger buttons, two analog sticks, a D-pad, a start, and a pause button, and a home button. And did I mention the shoulder buttons? This is how we build a controller, and we shall never cease building a controller like that. Yes, the cult of the traditional controller. It literally has led to. I've read actual physical comments where people said people need to stop innovating and just always use the traditional controller. There's no way in hell you're going to get people to play VR with that mindset. When the PlayStation Move bang, like people hated the Xbox Connect so much that they literally requested it to be gone, to be sold separately, so people can actually want to buy the system without having a Connect. And and people and people all constantly lambasting the Wii's motion controls. So we're talking about the same people who lambasted these things, looking forward to virtual reality, which this current technology, which is just a screen in front of your face, I don't think it's I don't think it's that innovative. It's basically akin to if we were just to have our handhelds and have a tunnel vision over it. That's basically what it would be akin to. To me, holographic projection is where the actual virtual reality is going to come into play. I don't I'm not even, like I said before, I'm not calling it virtual reality because by the essence that they are giving us, that anything that comes through the internet or anything that comes through the screen that isn't actually real is virtual reality, because it's really not a different medium of how we've been watching. It's still a screen. It's not a projection of any sort in front of us. It is just a screen in front of our faces, which undoubtedly is probably going to cause a crap ton of eye strain and a lot of headaches. The Virtual Boy, that was the biggest complaint with it, was that it caused a lot of headaches. So I really don't see it catching on other for the next couple years. Do you know a competitive gamer that's going to use that along with the PlayStation Move? Now, where I do see it having actual practical is actually in watching stuff. I think people would actually enjoy watching, getting an immersive watching environment more so than actually playing it. It's because you're cutting yourself off from the rest of the world, and that's what people like to do when they're listening to their music. Um, that's where I think that it actually has some practical semblance, like when people want to watch Netflix or want to watch their YouTube. more so in watching than actually building an immersive gaming experience. Because there's really nothing you could do with it that you haven't done with a traditional screen already. And matter of fact, I would kind of say it limits you. You can't have really any third-person games out in front of you. You can't portray another character out in front of your screen because the whole image that you're trying to portray is of something that is first person. There's you really can't you would have to develop games that are fairly linear because then you remember you're supposed to be in it, so everything behind you really doesn't exist. So in some ways, in terms of the actual gameplay with virtual reality, we're taking a step back instead of taking a step forward. If you were to design games specifically for VR, now I don't think games I don't think games for VR will do that well. I think people will use it um, to play their games on a play their games on a smaller screen. As a matter of fact, it could be used in a similar sense like the way you use gamepad off TV play, where a parent wants to use a television and the child can just use the virtual reality headset. It's almost like a secondary television, which for think how much the VR system costs, you could probably actually just buy another one. But well, it has its merits, but like I said, I'm not calling it virtual reality. It is a visor accessory at this point. Well, they're working on holographic communication technology as we speak. It's There's going to be some interesting things like the Wii motion controls and the Kinect and the PlayStation Move. Developers always talked about that technology and interesting opportunities presenting itself, but they never really got the time they wanted to develop games for them. And by the time that they could have, it was already outdated by the market standards. So I think that's how virtual reality will go. It will be an accessory by the wayside, kind of like the Power Glove, which I've actually seen people trying to bring that back, sadly. But it will have its merits in gaming history for a couple of years. It's going to be a stepping stone to actual virtual reality. But when we get to that point, we have to have a whole nother discussion about Orwell, about the cusp of Orwellian society. But that's a whole nother discussion for another day. But this has been Ron Loney for Dorks Like Us. Hope you enjoyed my commentary.